Welcome back to the Learning Node series of videos. This is video 2. In this video, I'm going to discuss NPM and Node, which are command line tools which add to the tools we reviewed in the previous video, which were make directory, change directory, and ls or list the contents of a directory. In this video, we're going to add 2 more, NPM and Node, which were also command line tools. So if Node.js is installed on their system, we have available to us 2 additional command line tools, as I mentioned, NPM and Node. If we want to verify that we have access to Node.js on our system, if we type node-v, it will tell us the current version of Node on this system. As of this current recording, the current version I have is 13.2. So we have access to Node. Well, the other thing we have as well is NPM. NPM stands for Node Package Manager. When we're using Node, which is a command line tool for accessing server-side or JavaScript outside of the browser, we want to be able to manage packages. Packages are just different sections of code, different sets of files we can use, things other people create, things we create, but we want to be able to manage them. There's a central tool for that called Node Package Manager, or NPM. To use that, though, we need to first create a directory for this. So as I reviewed in the previous video in this series, as part of the command line basics, we make a directory with mkdir, and then the name of the directory we want to create. So I'm going to call this example. Then, as I reviewed in the previous video, we went to change directory, so cd, the name of the directory. And then I want to create a new node project. I initialize it using npm, Node Package Manager, then init, initialize the Node Package Manager. When I press enter, it will ask me for some information. What package do I want to call this? For right now, I'll press enter. We'll take the default values. The version will be default, 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 default. It says, hey, is this what I meant? I'm going to type YES. So it created for me a brand new file, which it said right here. About to write, and it ended in package.json. This file will keep track of any packages we use as well as information about the current project. So if I type ls, if I list the contents of this current directory, I have one file, package.json, which I expect to see, and it just created for us. So the Node Package Manager has initialized, and it will keep track of any packages we use within this project. The project is defined within this directory. Everything within this directory is within this project or within this package as well. So okay, we've done Node Package Manager, NPM, init, we've initialized the Node Package Manager. It has created a file for us so it can keep track of any additional things we use as well as information about the current package, the current project. But we want to be able to actually run something. So for that, I'm going to move to a different tool, Visual Studio Code. Within this series, I'm going to recommend you use Visual Studio Code to be consistent with what I show you. However, you can write JavaScript code in any editor. You could use Notepad. You could use Notepad++ on different platforms, Sublime, Editor, whatever you want to use. Atom is another one. But at least for this series, I'll be talking and using Visual Studio Code. And the link for that will be in the description of this YouTube video of how to go and download that for your platform. So I'm going to move over to that right now. And then I'm going to open the folder that I just created. So the folder is the same as the directory, so open folder. For me, this will be under Documents and then Example. Select that folder. So just like Visual Studio Code is showing us right here, we also see in the background right here. In Documents and Example, there is a single file, which we also see right here, there is a single file. If I zoom in a little bit, so Control plus for me, you can see this a little better. So we have a single file, package.json. I'm going to create a new file within this package, within this project, using the new file icon right here. I'm going to call this index.js. And so notice Visual Studio Code has put a little JS next to it to tell us this is a JavaScript code. So the code I want to write is console.log, open and closing parentheses, and hi. This is the log function of the console object. If I save this file, which command on the keyboard would be Control S or File, Save, this content is now saved. So using Visual Studio Code, I have opened up this folder, this directory. I have created a file, index.js, and on line 1 included console.log and then some string value. Now I want to run this code. So we started this video by talking about NPM and then NPM initialize the Node Package Manager. The other tool I said I would mention is Node itself. The command node will run some JavaScript file. So moving back to the command line, if I type ls now, I have two files, index.js and package.json. I want to run the code in index.js, so node index.js. And it says hi. So the log function of the console object logs to the console. Where is the console? Well, when using Node, the console is what I'm looking at. It is the command line. Those are the same thing. So we can log, that is, write something to the command line. What is a command line? Well, we're looking at it, right? It's the same as the console. The console is the command line when using this. So the two additional command line tools I have added in this video are NPM and Node. NPM is the Node Package Manager. We want to initialize it, Node Package Manager space init, initialize the Node Package Manager. I did that by first making a directory, in this case example, changing directory into it, and then running that command. I then moved over to Visual Studio Code, created a new file called index.js, wrote a single line console.log, what I wanted it to log, saved the file, moved back the command line, and then ran the command node space and the file to run index.js. So two additional command line tools in this video, NPM and Node, building on the previous command line basics of video 1 of making directory, changing a directory, and listing its contents. Thanks for watching.